Hey everyone, it's David here. So yesterday I talked about what happens when you have a phone call, and I showed you an example of a phone call where someone said to me, "Yeah, let's go ahead and send the paperwork," but I didn't get a yes from them. They just gave me permission to send the paperwork. Most of the deals that I close with people are somewhere between conversations 4 and 10. So if you're doing this business, and I've had plenty of deals where I've called somebody, I get the deal the very first time I call. But a lot of times I'll get the deal, I call them, I have to get paperwork, I call them again, and you've got to be able to keep your customers organized. Otherwise, you're going to lose them, which has happened to me plenty of times. So I have something called a CRM, customer relation management. There's other names for it, but it's basically your customer relation management. Now, there's a site and it is called Trello, and I like that. And what you could do is you can log into this, and I'm going to go to my boards. It's totally free, and I have some active boards here. I have some boards I'm working, but what you could do is you can go to create a new board, and I'm going to call this training number one, and it creates. Okay, so you could put anything you want across here, and here's what I mean. So I'll put something like verbal agreement, send contracts out, contracts received, and then I'll put follow up over here. I'll put problem file, and then maybe I'll put like sent to the state. Okay, so yesterday I spoke to a son who said mail me the contracts. So what I do is I come in here and I'll put something like, I always start off with the date and the case number. So I'll start off with 4/23/24. Spoke to John Smith about his dad's property. John asked me to mail him the contracts, follow up with him 1 month. I always put a phone number. I'll be like Hollywood, put a Hollywood phone number on here. Okay, and then if I hit enter, that information's on there. So I always start off with the date. I also put the lead number on here too. So like say it's California claim number, whatever it is. Okay, bam, that's it in the system. It's saved in there. Now, what I do is I come in here and I take a picture of the actual lead itself and I'll paste it in here. So all I have to do is go to attachment. So like when I'm showing you the skip tracing, if you didn't get yesterday's phone call, go and watch it. But I'll take like literally a picture of the phone number and everything. Obviously, this is not it. And I'm not going to show you someone's confidential information. But when I come up here and I hit attach, I'll put choose a file. And if I go to screenshot, I open that, I attach the information. I do that with the phone number. I do that even with the California claim number that's on there. I attach everything on here so that I have it and I save it. Okay. So that's saved. Now, one of the most important things is I come in here and I set a date to follow up. So in this case, he said follow up with me in about a month. He's out of town. So I'd probably make it 2 weeks, even though he said a month. I'd probably make it like somewhere around the 6th, and I would save that. Now, the due date on this is May 6th. This is in the system. Now, as it gets closer to May 6th, you're going to notice that your card's going to change colors. And what I mean by that is, let's say that this was due tomorrow. What you're going to notice is it's going to turn yellow. And if you make it due the date of, and I know I said the 23rd, I'm actually filming this the day before, but if I come up here and make it due the date of, you're going to see like a red card or an orange card, and it means overdue. And you could change colors in here. You could do all sorts of different bells and whistles in here. Now, let's say I call him on April 23rd, whatever date it is. So let's say this is due on the 6th. And I come in here, and it's really nice because then I come in here and I have 4 or 5 follow-ups to do on the day that I start my cold calling. So I'm going to start calling people. And I come in here and I notice that I have 3 or 4 people that I have to follow up with. Nice way to start off the day. Hey, John, this is David Church. I spoke to you back on April 23rd regarding this property. And at that point, I have the information up. I mailed you the contract. Just want to make sure that you received it. Wanted to see if you had any questions. And then I start talking about what he has and how I can help him. And then at this point, let's say that John says to me, you know what, David, yeah, let's go to move forward. I want to go ahead and do this. I now have what's called a verbal agreement. So I'm going to move this from the follow-up to the verbal agreement. Now I'm going to make this due immediately. And what I'm going to do is get the contracts out. So I'm going to go ahead and get the contracts out. So then what I do is I come up here and I'll put up additional notes. So I'll put like, maybe this is on like the follow-up date, which I think I had on here was what date did I have following up? 5/6. Okay. So what I would do is I would put like 5/6/24. John said, let's move forward. Scheduled notary. Gave notary John's number. Now, I will do some more videos on how to go ahead and structure your client with the notary. I have one person in the course. She's done very well. She's shown tens of thousands of dollars worth of checks. What she does is she schedules the notary at the local UPS stores, pins them, and has the person go sign there, and she pays the 15 bucks. What I personally do is schedule a mobile notary to show up at their house, and I go and I pick up the bill. I make sure I'm speaking to the right person. I'm getting all the documentation. I have everything ready because that's $100. Or unless you do it Craigslist or something like that, you can get it cheaper. But I go and I do that, get notary John's number, and then I've got to put another follow-up date on here. So like I'm on May 6th. Now maybe the follow-up date's like May 7th. I want to follow up the next day. Bam. I'm going to save this. I've got my follow-up date. This is in. Contracts have already been sent out. Okay, now the notary sends me the contracts back. And then what I do is I send them off to the state. And then I want to follow up, and I don't always do what I mean to here, and this is really good. I should be sending my client out emails monthly, just letting them know, like, hey, I'm still working on this, and occasionally maybe a follow-up call, because the state could take anywhere from 3 to 6 months to pay out. So you want to have that good relationship with your client. You want to let them know, hey, the state still has this. So what I might do is make a due date. Okay, so I got all this on, say, May 9th, maybe June 9th, or maybe every first Friday in June, I'm sending out just a reminder on this. And then what I would do is I would just go ahead and email my client a reminder. Hey, this is David, just wanted to touch base, or even a text. Want to let you know that we're still working on your claim. I verified with the state they do have it. Now, right now, it takes California about 45 days to even process a claim. So just kind of keep that in mind as you're processing this. Hopefully they do get this cleaned up and they do move along faster. And this is great. Then when you get paid out, you can archive it, and it's really easy. You just come up here and you can archive this list or this card. This is called the list, and this is called the card right here. So you go and just archive it, bam, and it goes out. And that's pretty much how I keep track of my clients. It's called the CRM, and it's really good. Now, one of the questions I get is, do I put every single phone call on here? Absolutely not. I mean, if I called every single buddy, I mean, sometimes I call 10 people a day. I try to do 50 leads a week. And if I put all the people that I didn't answer up here on the follow-up, this would be a mile long. Now, if I speak to somebody, I speak to John's brother, and I'm trying to get a hold of John, and he says, you know what, I'll give him the message. One of the questions I ask is, thank you for doing that, I appreciate it. Is it okay if I don't hear anything back, like within a week, if I call you back? I've never had them not say yes to me. I mean, they always say yes. So, and if they say no, I'll let you know. I'm still going to follow up with them. But yeah, that you just want to be able to keep track of it. If I speak to someone, they say they're going to get information out, boom, they make my CRM, and they're on it. Now, there's a lot of fraud out there, and I have some people that say, you know what, this is too good to be true, and I'll say, okay, this is David. Here's my company. Here's my website. Here's what I'm looking at doing, and here's what I do. And by all means, I'm giving you the evidence, the information. And you just got to go with the data, and you got to hope that they're going with you. The other day I got a call, and it was very convincing. The guy said, well, it wasn't convincing, but the guy said I won the publisher clearinghouse, and he asked me for my address, which was like an address of a property that I flipped. He said, I'm verifying your address. And then he went on to say, we mailed a check to that address. I'm sorry you're not going to get it. Let's go ahead and route you those funds immediately. We'll cancel the check. Can I get your bank account and routing information number? And that had fraud all over it. I mean, so there's so much fraud, and this is what you're competing with. But you want to go ahead and build a name for yourself, be reputable, and just stick to the data. I'm calling about the account. I'm not asking you for any money. Let me show you the agreements. You'll see that I'm not asking you for money. The hard part is you do need their driver's license and their social security card. And some people always ask me, do you get that? Well, I've shown plenty of videos where I open up agreements or I open up contracts in the mail, and I get plenty of those. So just stick with your script. I'll keep on going over some of the basics on this and the CRM and everything you need to get your surplus fund business going if you're doing tax mortgage overages or state funds. But this was just on a CRM and your client relation management system. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. Do me a favor if you like this. And I do have an earlier video out on Trello, but this complements yesterday's video. I did put yesterday's video in the link. If you want to go back and check that out, feel free to, and I will see you tomorrow. Thanks again for watching.